Hi everyone. In today's video, we're taking a look at Amber's Instagram story, her amazing live stream that she did recently, as well as Foodie Beauty is complaining because her husband cheated on her 3 times. Allow the stunning turn of events to set in. All right, the moment is over because it never happened. Look, I got a question for everybody. Why should Amberlynn Reed be the only one that enjoys washcloths this holiday season? Serious question. She don't want to use bleach on the corner sink, okay? But she's enjoying washcloths. Well, now you can also enjoy washcloths this holiday season. Look, get your washcloths, everybody. It's that time of year. Here's my affiliate link for washcloths. I mean, everybody could always use washcloths and bleach for the corner sink. Listen, I think we should all do things that Amber doesn't do, like use washcloths appropriately. So, if you're looking for a washcloth, the product will pop up right inside the video. All right. Well, let's get into all the drama. As always, everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. Everything I'm talking about, just my own opinions, not facts, and publicly accessible information made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels to leave mean-spirited, negative, disparaging comments. Entertainment purposes only. And if you get that washcloth, let me know. I'll be very excited for you because it's going to ship. And the bleach too. It's an exciting time to be alive, girls. Okay, so now let's take a look at a series of unhinged Instagram posts from my favorite YouTuber, Amber Reed. We just all really, really love her. She makes the best content, the most amazing videos, and I can't wait to see what you do next. It's so amazing. So we have Hectic Ambi posting this. This is a repost from her on her Instagram story. By the way, gossiping about how I handled the most traumatic events in my life is actually really weird. Well, that's unusual. I find it really weird and just something that I would love for my audience to explain to me what this is about. Amber, why is it that you are allowed to make money and gossip about your problems first and no one else can? One of the most outrageous things that Amber continues to kind of portray on her channel is that her being a public figure and posting to hundreds of thousands of people on the internet is somehow a private thing. I hope that this next part helps you, Ambi, my favorite YouTuber. When you are posting publicly, people then have a right to discuss it publicly. This is no different than if, the most famous actress or the most famous singer in the world came online and decided to talk about their personal private life, and then people have a right to talk about. You know what it is? If you don't want nobody to talk about it, don't talk about it first. The problem is Amberlynn Reed cannot make money on the internet any other way than monetizing her life, and then she gets upset when other people talk about it. Also, do you know what I find really outrageous? When someone steals their late mother's washcloths and uses it in the lavatory and forces their caretaker Beck to wash them instead of even throwing them out.
Our roommates started to notice that their late mother's washcloths were disappearing. And they confronted her about it, and she wanted me to lie to them for her, but I didn't. She ended up buying more washcloths for herself, and instead of throwing them away, she had me wash them in the sink and then put them in the washer.
I find it very outrageous that you would steal Beck's mother's inheritance and then pretend that you didn't. I find it wild that poor Tommy begged you to use bleach on the corner of the kitchen sink in her home, but you said no. So, see, this is a really great time for all of us to talk about how we all feel, right, Ambi? So, Amber, I think it's wild that you think you can make money on it and no one else can. You gossip about your personal, private, whatever things you got going on. First, you make money on it. Everybody else can too. You want it to be private, keep it private. Oh, you know what other thing I find really weird and outrageous? To demand that a woman who can't afford like a protein drink in the store to leave work early to drive you to all the ERs, even though you clearly can take Ubers, and even though you say you have a lot of friends at bingo, why don't they take you? Like, if your mom is struggling financially, which it's clear that she is because you've decided to blast that on the internet, right? She told us she couldn't afford some drink that she wanted to get. Please explain to me why you're forcing her to leave work early. Do you not understand that more than likely she's losing pay? And you talk about other people gossiping about what you make public. How is this different than the nightly news or the entertainment magazines talking about celebrities? If you say something publicly, everybody else has a right to discuss it. This is a great one. I just don't understand how they could do that. Exactly. What a gift not to. So this, in my opinion, has to be about like people, again, gossiping about her or like talking about her or about what Tommy did to you. What about what you did to Tommy? Let's talk about it. What about you taking over Tommy's house and using, the corners of the sink and refusing to bleach the bathroom after you use it? Like, what about that? What about you disrespecting her household and her hospitality? I love the word hospitality. It is clearly why this is a vocabulary channel. What about you taking advantage of her hospitality and refusing to bleach the corners of the sink, refusing to bleach the bathroom? Like, why is it that you can judge other people for talking about what you say publicly, but you won't even bleach the bathroom after you use it? Okay. And the last one, she's basically trying to say, you can't just like wallow in stuff. Yes, I agree with that one. You can't just wallow in stuff. But the thing is, Amber will wallow in her relationship with Tommy for the rest of her life. And by the way, here's why she can't move on. The reason that Amber can't even get like a different partners because in her mind she's still with Tommy. Rinse lather, here we are. Amber, I loved your Instagram stories. Please post more. Who wants Amber to do a holiday Q&A? Y'all should let her know she needs to do holiday Q&As on Instagram. I miss those. Amber, your content is just fabulous. Okay, let's talk about the live stream title, The Sink is My Best Friend. Just like I never showered, The Sink is My Best Friend is only getting views because she's trolling in the title. She came on like, I think it was like really late my time. It was like an hour earlier her time, but it was still late. And she's like, oh, it's going to be like a short live stream. The live stream before that, I just didn't get to this. She said this, oh, I barely made it to this live stream. I had to walk Twinkie. I did this, but I barely made it. Here's a wild idea. We know that Amber wakes up at like 3 p.m. That's fine with me. I don't care. Why don't you just go live at 5 or 6? You want to go live every single day. The only reason for that is she wants to have some spending Christmas money. Good for you. The point is, since you want to go live every day, which by the way is absolutely unnecessary. Please don't get me wrong. I definitely think that she should go live because people are paying, but not every day. But anyways, the point is, since she's choosing to do this, you need to show up at a regular decent time. A lot of people in other countries are in the middle of sleeping, and most people are not going to go and watch you at 10 p.m., at 11 p.m. So, you know what? I know that you wake up at 3 p.m., but why should everybody else pay for it? So that's exactly what she says. She basically talks about how she got a late start. That's how she begins this live stream. And she says, I can't sleep because of my cat. Romeo's going through, rambunctious phase, the zoomies. By the way, she has learned so much, like, as far as how to mask what she really feels, but it doesn't work. It's amazing. What do I mean by that? She immediately, after saying something that she knows is going to be criticized, says, oh, but I want him to have this, and I love him. It's okay. She's basically trying to say she can't sleep because of her cat. You understand what I'm trying to say? But she knows she's going to be criticized for that because, well, where's Gracie and Rarity? Amber. So because of that, she immediately says like a positive thing. It's a manipulation tactic, okay? When you say something negative that you really believe, followed by a positive statement to, soften the blow. Amber, you are so transparent, girl. So she says that it's very difficult for her to go through the rumor list when every single rumor isn't real. Your ex-girlfriend Tommy said that you barely shower, that you don't wash your hands after the bathroom, and that you refuse to clean the corner of the sink with bleach. She said that to us, and it's a similar variation of what Beck said and what Destiny said. And none of the rumors on the list is true. The reason that she brings this up is she promised she was going to go down that rumor list, okay? And she doesn't want to. Amber, how can you possibly say that this isn't true when three separate people, like somebody needs to ask her respectfully so she doesn't block you, ask her whenever she does these Q&As. Listen, next time she does a Q&A on Insta, on TikTok, on Snapchat, please somebody ask her this respectfully. Amberlyn Reed, please answer your audience the following question. How do three separate partners have the same exact story about you? And do not say this, Amber. Oh, they don't have the same story. Enough of your semantics and manipulation. I don't care that she doesn't shower. At this point, am starting not to even care that much that she's lying about it because I understand that she's a deceiver. And I understand it's embarrassing. But to day in after day after day after day, to come here and say, I shower, all of them are lying. Why would random people that date you all lie about you? Like, I've never even experienced that. Can you imagine having various relationships and various people that dated you at different parts of your life saying the most outrageous things about you, but they're all like the same thing? No, Amber. Ask her next time she does a Q&A why three separate people have the same exact thing to say about you. It's okay. She's too scared to answer. In my personal opinion, if you're looking for it, the reason that she doesn't want to go through, reading the rumors list is because, not because she doesn't know what to say, she'll make up lies. The idea is she knows that since she's doing it live and not in video form, what's going to happen is people are going to call her out. They're going to say stuff. They're going to say in response to what she's saying. And she's going to, at some point, have to read out their super chats, even if it's, the truth. So I think the only reason that she doesn't want to read out the rumor list is because she knows that it's going to be bad with her audience. Amber, the majority of those rumors, quote unquote rumors, are truths. There's some silly ones like about your undergarments, which are ridiculous. I mean, she has a lot of money, you guys. Obviously, she can buy what she wants. But most of those things are in the neighborhood of the truth or exactly what the truth is, right? So I think she's thought about it. In the beginning, it sounded like a good idea to read out the truth list. There's a slip of the Kermit, the rumor list, right? But now it doesn't sound like such a good idea because she now understands that her audience will call her out on her lies. Moving on. So she rambles on about her aunt and says, how could her Aunt Tammy want to make merch? I guess her Aunt Tammy wants to make merch about Amber. I don't know, whatever, who cares? She's upset about it. She goes, what rational mind would, make shorts about me? What rational mind would steal your roommate's late mother's washcloth, use them in the lavatory, and then force Beck to wash them? Also, she keeps pushing this narrative that isn't true. She keeps saying, just because my Aunt Tammy and my mom are in this feud and in this fight, why is it spilling over on me? It's not. She dislikes you and has problems with you over the lies that you told and how badly you treated her in the past. Here's an example. Auntie, I am not allowed to bring food from home for lunch. A fascinating lie. No outside, food to be brought in, but you wrote that sign yourself. This is not just disingenuous, but just weird. Like, you will go to any length to deceive people. That's what it says to me. Amber, stop trying to blame your mom's feud with your aunt on why she isn't getting along with you. She isn't getting along with you because of you and your personality alone. Right now, if you and her worked on a relationship and created a great relationship, it would be irrelevant if she doesn't speak to your mom because more than likely Aunt Tammy treats everyone as an individual. She then talks about how unbothered she is about all of this. How many times has Amber Reed said that she's unbothered? You know the definition of unbothered, you don't bring it up. And by the way, she can't even pretend that she's unbothered by not bringing it up, okay? She then says that her aunt makes her feel unsafe and uncomfortable, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with her. You make people feel unsafe. You make people feel uncomfortable. Dare say that Tammy's making you feel uncomfortable. By the way, eternal victim. Reaction channels are stalking her. The aunt that she texted into oblivion, texted all the time, had, been around. Oh, she's making me feel uncomfortable. How does she make you feel uncomfortable? By calling you out on the lies that you tell? Okay. She then talks about her history in her browser. Like, she did show, like, the channels that she used to watch, and it was a bunch of ASMR videos and it was a bunch of reaction videos. And she said, I'm not going to justify this with an answer. Everybody said it was fake. Amber, I know that it said that you watched some reaction channels. You did. The issue is that you have sock accounts. You have fake accounts. The reason that people said that they felt that it was fake is because we know that you watch all the other reaction channels on your fake accounts. Look, if you think that Amber Reed hasn't been asked before to show her history, if you think that she already didn't plan for it by watching some stuff that you would expect, some reaction channels and some basic channels, it's called like getting ready for it. Look, I'm going to ask you this question. If Amber Reed doesn't watch all the other reaction channels, how does she always know what I'm saying about her? How? Even if people messaged you on Instagram, they'd never be able to message you every single statement I've ever made. She knows everything I say, but she doesn't watch me. I don't come up, and neither do other channels. And she repeats them too, right? She repeats what they say too. They don't come up in her search engine when she showed. Why? Because she's watching them from another channel. Amber, that's why people are saying that it's fake. And you know why people are saying that it's fake, okay? She then goes on to this washcloth nightmare. She says that she has a particular shower routine. We know all about it, girl. And she says that she uses 3 washcloths per shower. Okay. She then says that for somebody like her, she must prevent cellulitis and bacteria. Okay. Amber, listen, the Kermits write themselves here. Sweetheart, you have cellulitis all the time, more so than heard of. Like having cellulitis, like at least, let's say, 5 to 6 times a year is bad, all right? It's bad. It's a serious infection. I know you don't take it seriously, you take medicine, but it's a very serious sign of not being well. Don't you understand that? How are you coming on the internet and saying you're preventing infection by showering all the time when every single girlfriend that has spoken out said that you have not done that? Amber, just quit while you're ahead. Like, you always have cellulitis, but you're preventing it? Yeah, okay. Maybe go wash your hands after the bathroom. She goes in between saying she has OCD, ADHD, borderline personality. Any diagnosis of any of these things, Amber? Just show us one diagnosis. She does say that she hasn't been diagnosed with ADHD, but she knows she has it. She's been assessed. Yeah, okay. God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And she's like, I'm not a narcissist. I'm not a narcissist. I know a bunch of narcissists. I feel bad for narcissists because it's not their fault. It's because of the things that have happened to them. And I'm just like, please just go get a Kermit. Like, Amber, I don't care what you are. And I don't care, like, I don't care what disorder, Amber, sweetheart, I don't care what disorders you have. Can you please stop using them as excuses for whatever? Still no diagnosis, still no proof of any of them, okay? She's so uninformed about the topics that she discusses that the lives that she's doing, they come off as like as if you stepped into a different world and then when it's over you step back into reality. Like, Amber, at least inform yourself. By the way, she does admit something that I think some of you would be interested in. She admits that she's no longer in therapy, that she's not doing therapy, that she probably isn't going to continue because important buzzword. Remember I told you she learned how to speak for her audience? She says therapy is not for everyone. Just admit that you don't want to go to therapy. She says that she used to be in therapy for about a year and she's been in therapy on and off, but she just feels that it's only venting and she likes to buy resources and read about it. Also known as, AKA, you know what she really means? She wants to go on TikTok, she wants to Google, and she wants to deal with her issues like that. So she says that she's basically not in therapy. Remember all those years? It was just recently, even too, that she lied to you and said she was in therapy. Listen, my opinion on her therapy hasn't changed now that she's announced that she's not in therapy and she doesn't want to go there and she's not coming back to therapy because it feels like venting. So here's my thing. Well, we said it, we'll always say it. You don't believe me? That's fine. Amberlynn Reed, in my personal opinion, but I'm 100 on this, lies to all her therapists, therefore creating a problem, right? And some of these people are picking up on her lies and some of them are not, and it is what it is. Okay, let's say she creates a story that never happened, you know. she's she's writing for This Never Happened magazine from 2 to 9 p.m. at 3 a.m. at Denny's, while Kermit's compliment her with FBI Frank on how good she smells. But the point is, Amber creates stories for these therapists that never happened. And so it's difficult to get therapy for things that never happened. Do you understand? So she lies to the therapist, my opinion. And says that things are good for her, but, you know, not good things are happening on YouTube. Here's the thing. Everything that's happening on YouTube is based on your personal life. So your ex-girlfriend, somebody that you're still talking to and still in some type of a relationship with, went on the internet and told reaction channels and completely exposed you that, your hygiene habits are anything but hygiene. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is that, she always tries to remove herself from YouTube. Like, oh, my personal life is fantastic. No, it's not. We already know everything. The tea with your mom, your aunt, your whole family. Please, girl, please. But she's always trying to say that, like, if only YouTube could mirror her personal life. Good news, it does. Your ex, one of your many exes, has exposed you on the internet. Girlfriend going on the internet, speaking. It's your girlfriend speaking to people and sharing your information. It is part of your personal life. Your personal life is spilling onto YouTube. It isn't so personal after all, right? Okay. She then says that she has no plans for anything with Vlogmas and it's going to be very boring. Well, thanks for nothing. And she says she's a homebody who doesn't drive and doesn't like the cold. Just say that you don't really have a very much going on outside of your mom. Like, if her mom doesn't take her places, she doesn't take initiative and take Ubers anywhere. Then she, of course, does the manipulation situation type nightmare where she says, this is my favorite kind of content when people sit at home and vlog. No, it isn't. You're just saying that because it's what you can do. So just say that this is the only thing that I can do. Imagine people wanting to watch Vlogmas when they've already been turned off and said, well, everything's going to be boring. I'm just going to be sitting here. Okay, so then we finish off strong with her saying she's an independent girl and she does everything herself. Amber, everything you say is a lie. Everything you say is a lie. You deceive yourself the most, and sometimes, very rarely, I think to myself, I wonder if she knows that she deceives herself. How are you independent? You literally can't take care of your animals without your mom. You can't do anything without your mom. And the sad part is you have every ability to do so. Amber, you need to start taking Ubers just to see what it would be like if one day your mom, what are you going to do? Amber, seriously, what are you going to do? Let's say your mom's no longer here and you need to go to the ER. How are you getting there, Amber? You need to try to do these things now so that they become easier for you later when you really have no other choices. This is just basic advice. I would advise her that, like, if she was my friend, or like if I didn't know her from YouTube and I just knew her, I would tell her, hey, you need to start taking Ubers. It's pointless. And then the wonderful ending of the live stream where she says, people always bring up, what I did 6-7 years ago. It's okay, Amber. In 3 years, you'll tell us that everything you told us right now is a lie. I want to move on to a foodie beauty update. So there's two things I want to basically discuss. The fact that her fake husband, Salah, cheated on her multiple times, like 3 times, and that she's saying she wants to go back to Syria. So first thing I want to say is, I don't know if y'all remember, but when they were first breaking up and I was making videos about this, I said to you, this is all smoke and mirrors, like everything she talks about. And in my opinion, the way that she was acting towards him, they were not really fully breaking up. And I believed that she was going to go back to Syria. Why is this relevant? I don't care what this woman does. I don't care where she lives. The reason that I find it to be relevant is because a lot of her audience chose to donate for her forever home, and she's going to be living in Canada permanently. Remember all the times that she lied to you and said that she's never going to go back there and be with him? And I said, no, 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 no. She's obviously lying, because the way that she's acting right now when she's getting the money. See, here's what happened. She was so giddy and happy, in my opinion, but I'm 100 on this, from getting the money from her followers to come to Canada, that she couldn't even hide the reality. I could feel it, like it was palpable, okay, that she was definitely trying to go back there, because the way that they were both acting, keyword on acting, this is a vocabulary channel, I felt like, okay, it really seems like she's gonna go back there. Well, she made a whole live stream where she said she doesn't know what to do. She's very lonely in Canada and she doesn't know the bus system. In all the years that you lived in Canada, you don't know the bus system. I understand she drove, but let me tell you something. I know plenty of people in many different places that drive and they know the bus system. But how about this? Just ask. She's sick and she can't get any real care because I think she doesn't have access yet to healthcare because, she's been gone for such a long time. Another great and brilliant decision by Chantal. And by the way, like, if you're really that ill, like, she seems to have, let me put it to you this way, more than a cold. It's like common sense. So she's sick, she's lonely, and she's making a live stream saying how She doesn't know if she should move in with Pete's. She doesn't know if she should just stay by herself or move back to Syria and be with, Salah, which makes absolutely no sense. Listen to what I'm going to say to you. The fact that she so easily has that as one of her options means that they're still together in some type of way. Now, she says that he sends her mixed signals, and she says that, he's, very cold and detached towards her. Yeah, you guys have broken up. Common sense. I don't know about these mixed signals. I mean, a Kermit could send her a signal and she'd think it was mixed. But my point is, I think that it's very obvious that she was lying to you about never going back to Syria. So all the people that paid because you wanted her to be in Canada and she lied to you and said, I'm going to be permanently in Canada. Oh, what was that thing that Chantal always says? Ah, yes.
That's not lying. That's changing my mind.
Okay, so basically she lied to you. I hope y'all remember when I told you that she's definitely going to go back to Syria. Also, this thing about Pete's. So she's debating whether or not to, move in with Pete's. And one of the reasons that she gave before, I just didn't talk about it yet, was, oh, well, what if I have a boyfriend or I get married? So you're just going to throw him out like you did multiple times? Pete's is not perfect, but he's been a fantastic friend to her. She went, she had him pay all her bills for her. He went into debt for her. He always defends her. He says she's his best friend. So yeah, he could move in, but you know what it is? People like Chantal are never going to be happy. She's always looking to better deal everybody in her life. What happened to your family, Chantal? You're finally in Canada. You can do whatever she wants it, right? She could do whatever you want. She went to Canada because she felt that she had no freedom where she was at. Now you can do whatever you want, and it's all so bad. Some people, let me know if you've ever met people like this that could never really be happy. I know people like that. Chantal, you're never going to be happy, whether you're with Salah, with Pete's, with a new boyfriend. So she's like, yeah, I don't know if I should move in with Pete. She was saying this before, because what if I get a boyfriend and get married? Listen, I'm not an expert on marriage and nothing, but don't you first have to have a boyfriend in order to get married? Okay, so my main point with bringing up Pete's is that he thinks that his friend is back and she's just looking to better deal him. She genuinely only cares about herself. Don't try to ask Pete's to move in with you if your big goal is to get another boyfriend. Like, remember when she was like moving out of her house with Salah and I had said that this woman cannot be without a man. There's your proof. Oh, I'm lonely. Do I move in with Pete? But then I'm going to get a boyfriend. What do I... So what if you get a boyfriend while you're living with your roommate, platonic best friend? It's ridiculous. Basically, you're looking to throw out Pete, so then definitely do not move in with him. And he is, like, his friendship is way too good. So then let's talk about the cheating. So she does this crying live stream where she says that Salah cheated on her 3 times, that she went through his phone and he had pictures with another woman. And, she couldn't believe that this happened and all this other stuff. And she confronted him on it and he said it was a friend. Look, a really long time ago, I'm going to try to link the video down below if I remember, when they had first gotten together, what had come out, maybe you don't know, is that he was filming some woman. I think he's a player. I think he's always going to cheat on you. But anyways, I'm not going to really spend a long time on this whole cheating thing because what a stunning turn of events that Salah cheated on her 3 times, allowed the shock to set in. So she's crying. She's saying that he's, like this, like, cheetah. And she's saying that she's so lonely and she was miserable when she was with him. And she's miserable now. She was lonely when she was with him, lonely now. Who cares? Okay. That's not a big surprise. I'm not going to go deeper into the fact that this man is a cheater and just wasn't not that into her. I've already talked about that before. You know what I want to talk about? So Chantal told us that he only cheated once. And it was obvious that he cheated multiple times because one time when they were still together, and I think this was when she was in Kuwait, she told us of a story of a friend, in quotation marks, right? A friend, right? That supposedly got cheated on and she was asking the audience what to do. If your friend got cheated on, you would not be asking us what to do. It was obviously she was the friend. You understand? She was asking for advice. The point is, she lied about how many times he cheated on her, multiple times, right? Because people said he cheated on you multiple times. She said, no, it was that one time. That was lie number one. Another lovely thing that she drops in one of these live streams is she says that he gave up part of his family for her and a bunch of his family members did not approve of the relationship. And he, had arguments with them and, wasn't talking to them anymore, right? And he sacrificed his relationship with his family. You know why I bring that up? Because people used to tell her that all the time and she used to blatantly lie to her her viewer's face and say, oh no, he is great with his family approves of the relationship, everything's amazing. So the only thing I want to end it on is that everything that you have hidden, you then went ahead and told your audience. So congratulations, you played yourself. Last bit of advice for Foodie Beauty. Sometimes in life, you just have to cut your losses. Stay in Canada, make a life for yourself, move in with Pete's, and live your life. And please just stop thinking about the next boyfriend you're going to have. Why don't you just enjoy living in Canada? You have a lot of things that you didn't have before. Just live your life. Be with your family. Be with Pete's. Go out. Do your thing. Don't obsess over a man that cheated on you 3 times and clearly is just not that into you. I want to thank you all so very much for watching today. I appreciate you being here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Check out this other video that's popping up here. You may enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Community can use you. You will be ultra squirrely.